Laten we een applaus geven.
Goedenavond allemaal. Welkom. En ik wilde erbij zeggen, het is mijn eerste keer, so please be kind. Toen ik hoorde over een Poetry Night wilde ik gewoon heel graag meedoen. Toen me werd verteld wat een thema was van Refresh. En me de vraag werd gesteld, hoe past dat in je poems? Dacht ik eerst van nee, het past totaal niet. Ik gebruik nooit refresh of noem maar op. En toen dacht ik erover na, ja, meestal hebben mijn poems wel gewoon te maken met een thema refresh. Ik hoop gewoon dat als jullie de volgende 2 poems horen die ik zou doen, dat jullie gewoon zien dat het gaat om basic dingen die we allemaal leren, die we allemaal hebben gehoord, maar op een andere manier gebracht. So, op een soort van manier, in het Engels gezegd, I hope it renews your mind, I hope it refreshes your thinking. So, yeah. Mijn eerste poem heet He Stands. So, yeah. Okay. Man, he stood outside her window every day, admiring how she was so beautifully made in every way, and many times he would shower her with gifts to show that he cared, and every time she loved the gifts, but gave the credit to someone else who was there. But hey, he loved her, so he never gave up. He stood outside her window one day in the rain, and through her sobbing and weeping, he knew she was in pain, and it pained him to see the woman that he loved constantly feel empty and hurt. He wanted to wrap her in his arms, fill her with his love, and show her how much she was worth, so he left her window and walked up to her door. He knocked so long and loud that she could no longer ignore it. She opened the door she recognized. She knew who had came, and though she really did need him, to her it was all just a game, because the moment she felt better, she quickly forgot his name. And it was on to the next one. She kicked him to the curb, and as his feet hit the street, you think he'd leave. Just go. But he just got up, dusted himself off, and walked right back to her window. He stood outside her window and mourned, thinking of how he stood outside her window the day that she was born, and even before she came on this earth he adored every plan he had for her, but his presence was just plainly ignored. So he stood outside her window and watched, patiently and lovingly, as his little girl grew up, as she learned to drive, graduated, and even the first time some fool broke her heart, he was there. And all he wanted to be was a part of her life, to show that he was there, her father. And maybe, just maybe, she could learn what it was like to be loved as his daughter. So he stood outside her window, his patience still intact, but it didn't make sense because he was waiting for his own creation to love him back. After he had made her, he sent his son to die on a cross and save her. He kept her safe only by divine intervention. So why did he still have to fight every day for her attention? And every day he was rejected. He stood outside her window, and his heart cried as she grew old and slowly died. Her eternity would not be with him, even though he tried and tried and tried and tried to save her from herself and to give her life, but she chose to rather die in lies. God stands outside your door and knocks. Will you let him in? So, dat was misschien een beetje intens om te beginnen. Zo, je zou hopen dat ik iets minder intens heb. Nee, toch niet. Tweede poem heet The Color of Love's Eyes. And I actually really like that one. So, let's just get into that one. And please remember the name, The Color of Love's Eyes. So remember eyes, remember love. Yeah, okay. Whew. She loved, she adored, she cherished, she looked forward to that moment each night where she would put her head on his chest and look into his eyes. Because in those eyes, she saw everything in them. She saw love, trust, a future, and if possible, she would even see the sun rise in those eyes. Because he was like her son. He showed light into her life, so she loved. She adored, she delighted in, she looked forward to that moment each night where she would put her head on his chest and look into his eyes. And while so busy seeing everything, she missed out on seeing the lies. Where she saw love, it covered lust. A relationship put in a comfort zone that mimicked trust. And if you removed all the sweet talk, she was left with nothing. But hey, she loved, she adored, she actually worshipped. She looked forward to that moment each night where she would put her head on his chest and look into his eyes. Because eyes couldn't tell lies, right? Weren't eyes supposed to show a person's soul? Supposed to reveal all that was true? But she never really saw his eyes, only the lie that covered its shape and form like only good contact lenses do. And the moment that he removed them, she realized that she never even knew the true color of his eyes. But she would see them really soon. He looked into her eyes and asked, "Will you always be mine?" But little did she know that always only meant till next Valentine, which was after a few days. And it was after that day that they both went their separate ways, 'cause you know, baby, life is short. He said they had to seize the day, and since their love had run its course, they'd only be getting in each other's way. But their love was true one day, both. And though their love had been true and exciting one day, it had now gone away, but he really did love her. And his love was true that day. And his love was true that day. And it was true that day that she decided that love sucked. And it only led astray. And what he had done, it so bit her inside that she grew bitter inside and went on to punish every man that she met for what one did to her inside. Saying all men are dogs, but she laid with them often, so no wonder she woke up with fleas trying to rip up her soft skin. Parasites had sucked the life out of her with every one-night stand, but she took it all, because it was being alone that she could not stand. And then love came. And then love came. And then real love came. Love looked into her eyes and said, "You have always been mine. But you don't even know how you look through my eyes. So busy chasing their love while I have chased you. And though they have come and broken your heart, I have come to make you new." What is this love and fulfillment you're searching in a man? He wasn't made to love you like that. Only I men, they just met you. They come in to steal your heart, but before you were formed, I knew you. So I think I have a head start. So I'm calling you home. Come back. You're mine. Let me show you real love. And please, please accept it this time. So now she loves. She adores. She cherishes. She looks forward to that moment each night where she gets on her knees and looks to the sky. And when he speaks to her, she knows there are no lies. When he whispers, I love you, she knows there are no lies, because she finally knows the color of love's eyes.